Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we are finally going to do an Elena review slash guide video, and we're going to do this one in a couple of parts. I want to focus first on the Evasion build. I feel like this is the one I get asked about the most, and it's the one that is the most like gear and turn and buff, and there's a lot of things that Evasion comps need, so I want to show this one off first. It's also the one I've used the most, so it's the one I have the most experience with. Let's start talking about it right now. Okay, so we're going to start this video off with a fight, and while you're watching the fight, I'm going to kind of explain how I'm setting it up, give you an idea of how Elena works, and you'll get to see like what you kind of can expect from an Evasion Elena. Alright, first things first. Elena, if she's using a group buff TMR, will run to her group and cast that buff. I do really like her own TMR. One, because it has a lot of evasion on it, which you need to be stacking evasion in an Elena evasion comp, and two, because it keeps her back, allows her to cast her second buff before she's in range of the enemy. Here, I have her casting Evildoers Beware. It is another evasion buff for her, and you want to get your evasion up as much as you can. You can see with my setup right here, I have evasion on everybody. Now, poor Yuna, she has re-raise because Yuna's not dodging anything, but she brings herself back to life, so we're fine for now, and we'll get to engage the enemy. It was really important that my Starlight Elena dodge that massive attack from Ruinstern, because Ruinstern is a monster, and now she can go kill him. We have an early edge in the fight. So, with Starlight Elena, keep that in mind. She likes to buff her group with her TMR first, if she has a TMR that will do that thing, and then she casts her selfish buffs. If you're running Evasion, I think you have a couple of options for those selfish buffs on most maps. One of them, the option that you're seeing here, is have her cast her evasion buff. To get her to use that, you need to turn her courage buff from her main job, the one that will let her ignore fatal damage. You need to turn that off. That will enable this one, and I kind of prefer that, especially if I'm running a backup full life, like you're going to get to see come out from my Yuna here. I think it's really important. The other alternative is you can keep the courage buff and say, hey, I might get unlucky, I might get hit, but if I do, I have ignore fatal damage one time, and so I can keep dodging at 0 HP just as good as I could keep dodging at full HP, and that's one way to think about it too. Now, let's go into like team comps, teammates, gear. Let's talk about the maybe kind of more boring stuff, but the really important stuff when you're building this unit up. Alright, now, let's talk about teammates, vision cards, Espers, gear, and I'm not going to try and take a ton of time here, but I'm going to give you like more of ideas. With Elena, I think she has two build paths, right? One of them, Evasion, that we're focusing on here, the other one, Bruiser, but you can kind of combine the two, and that's really what I've done here. You can see I'm getting Evade by stacking her TMR that brings 18, and I'm getting some diminishing returns here, but I am getting some more Evade by using her sword. I really like this setup, and I'm giving her some backup survivability by running the Luminous Armlet that gives my dark and light attack resist, as well as defense and spirit, and then I'm targeting dark and light teams in my fights. That's kind of the gear setup here. With vision cards, guys, use her vision card. If you're going Evasion Elena, remember, you need luck, you need agility, and you need evasion. Here's the card that will give you luck for your light units. You really want that, and then it just steroids the crap out of her. Like, she becomes a goddess with this card on. You're also going to need Evade. One way you can get that is from Rob's vision card. It has light unit evasion 20. So in a mono light group, Rob, a fantastic teammate because he's also an evasion unit. And if you set the comps up right, Rob has access to the illusion buff. Let me actually click where it is. It's right here. So if you want to set your comp up, you can actually have Elena cast her courage buff and then catch the illusion buff from Rob, but that's not always super reliable, especially on maps where if the enemy can push forward really quick, it can mess up your AI. So, but this is something you can work out. On longer maps, you could definitely set Rob up to give her that illusion buff. Now, you're also going to want agility. Bahamut is the ultimate light agility card. You can see it gives your light units magic up. Elena stacks, like her abilities scale off of magic, that's important. It also gives you that agility, and then it gives unit attack resist 20. One thing that sucks for evasion units is single target attacks. Holy sharpshoot, there's a lot of them out there. This will give you a 20% resistance, so it leans into Elena's bruiseriness, as well as helping her dodge by giving her the agility. Now, if like you don't have all of this light stuff, you do have some other options. You can go with a rainbow team if you have Shiva. So you can get your evasion. Shiva, by the way, was one of the very first UR Vision cards ever pulled. Now you know that worthless fact. You can get generic evasion from Shiva, and Shiva is good statistically for any magic scaling unit. So you could mix in a Halloween Little Leela if you're a bad person, or you could just mix in any other mage and get some evasion that way. For agility, like if you can't run Bahamut, you can get agility from, guess who? Black Rose of the Battlefield. It's on here somewhere. Picking things off a list is my weakness. Here it is. This gives more agility than Bahamut does, actually, for your group, and Black Rose Helena is actually a decent option to run with Elena if you're going on a rainbow team, because you can get that agility right here. Luck, if you need to find your luck in a rainbow squad, you have Katone's VC right here, Secrets of the Heart. You can get some luck there. So there's your other options for vision cards. Just remember, you want agility, you want luck, and you want evasion. You really want all three if you're going evade all the way. Okay, now I want to point out some teammate things here. Let's talk about people to pair her with. I really like Rob. I think Rob is one of the most slept on units in Global. At 120, this dude hits like a truck. He has 100% hit moves if you have his vision card. He's amazing. Third person. I actually don't think Yuna is the best. I think Yuna's up there. Like, I think Yuna's really good to run with her, but I think that, like, on an evasion team, you guys, I actually think the best person you can run her with is level 120 Fina right here. Now, my Fina is not level 120. I don't have the blossoms for that, but level 120 Fina is really good. She has a big range AoE attack that scales off of magic. She's a great person to hold Bahamut for you. She has really long range heals, so she will stay back. She'll keep your units topped off. She has the full life. She has great buffs with like her cheer. Don't sleep on 120 Fina. I think she's like one of the best units to pair with Starlight Elena in an evasion group. Oh, hi there. This is Orange A from the future, and I remembered that I forgot to mention another reason why Fina is so good in the evasion comp, and it's Nivlu's TMR, the V-Clan mask. This is a really good piece of evasion gear that has an evasion buff for your group. The problem with this is it's only equipable by like a select few people, including like rangers and gunners, and there's not a whole lot of those in the light element. Now, notice that Jaden can also equip this, and my Jaden's not built yet, but that might give him a path into this comp. But if you can get this TMR built into your evasion team, it's another way that you can turn on some other buffs for Elena, so she doesn't have to buff her own illusion or her own evasion or rely on Rob. Keep that in mind. Now, back to the video. Other good units for her. If you want somebody to hold Bahamut or Shiva, any mage. If you're going light specific, Mashari would work. She ain't gonna dodge anything, but neither's Fina or Yuna, so whatever. Sakura could work if you have her. If you're feeling real froggy, go Spellblade. Don't go Spellblade Ramza. Just don't. It's not that good. I'm sorry, Ramza. Someday your day will come. That day is not today, but he could hold the card if you really wanted him to. Or you can run Rob Elena or Mage Elena with Warrior of Light. Like, a well-built tank in an evasion group is really effective. And with this current, like, if you were to stick Warrior of Light in here with this current vision card setup, your Warrior of Light might actually catch a dodge or two. In fact, let's go to a fight and see if we can get Warrior of Light to dodge something or if he's just going to get slaughtered. Let's go find out. All right, guys, so let me show off this Warrior of Light a little bit. Let me bring up his stat page. Notice this 438 luck, 91 agility Warrior of Light, who's also wearing a mithril armor, which is an evasion piece of gear with 18 evade. Now, this does not guarantee our boy here is going to dodge, but let's see. Like, who knows? Let's run into another fight, and we're just going to run this one live. This is going to be a one-take fight. I'm looking for a dark team or a light team. Here's a light team. Let's freaking do it. So, can Warrior of Light get some lucky dodges? Or can't he? Merlot, back in the day, Merlot used to run this like weird evasion, Halloween Little Leela, Ruins Turn Warrior of Light comp. And the dude's Warrior of Light would dodge some stuff. And it would catch people off guard. He was like a 6-star everyday Guild Wars comp that was evade Warrior of Light. So, he's got a ton of luck, which is super important. He's got the hate buff to help cover our squad. We got Keenblade because his ass is kind of slow, so we can boost him a little bit. This is a kind of decent build. Now, there's the evasion buff for Elena. Warrior of Light is going to actually move out of range of Rob here, so he's not going to get another evasion buff. But here we go. He's going to give himself Protect and Shell with his limit break that will really help him survive in case he catches a few hits, because I have my doubts, you guys. I sort of have my doubts if he's going to get some dodges in there. But our evasion buffs on our 2 evasion units are full online. Here we go. Drain Evocation comes out, so we get the magic buff. Here we go. Dodge. 0 for 1. 0 for 1 Warrior of Light dodging anything. Protect and Shell on their Elena. Come on. Okay, we really want Elena to dodge this more than Warrior of Light. And note, if I was being super serious about this, like if I was trying to make a really deep run through Arena with this comp, I would have had Elena use her courage buff instead of her evasion buff for exactly that reason. Like, she would still be alive, she would now get a turn and could probably finish off their 2 lower HP units. Instead, Engelbert's gonna Sentinel, Yuna's gonna heal, and we're probably done at this point. So this wasn't maybe the best show off of this comp ever, and notice how the courage buff is doing so much work for their Elena. Now, maybe Rob can just pop off for us, right? Like, we'll watch the rest of this fight. Rob's out here, he's dodging everything except those 2 of those 3 hits, so he dies. But there you go. That is an option. Now, I do want to say, I think the Warrior of Light combo might be better for the Bruiser build of Elena. Like, I think that's probably a thing. But there it was. It just didn't work super well. Now let's talk about a couple more things before we end this. Espers. I think the best Esper for Starlight Elena is Bahamut. Like, it has a ton of agility, 19. It makes her fast. It helps her dodge. If we go to the enhanced page here, you will see that it has a lot of good things for her. Maneater, magic up, TP up, you're going to get that automatically. Magic resist is good. You don't want magic attack up on Elena. Yes, she will cast like drain evocation and stuff like that from her sub job, but you really want to focus on this part of the tree for Bahamut right here, and it does have 7 evasion on it, so that's a thing. Alternatively, I really like Carbuncle on Elena, especially if you're going for an anti-dark build. I think Carbuncle's the way to go. Real quick though, I want to shout out a problem that Elena has right now in Arena and especially in Guild Wars. And that's that one of the things that she's really built to deal with are dark teams. And one of the problems with mono dark teams, and this team right here would probably also be a problem, is this vision card right here. Black Rose of the Battlefield. This card gives agility to the group, but it also gives, it doesn't list it on here for some reason. Let's just go look at it in my inventory. I feel like I'm getting trolled right now, but let's go look at this vision card. So Black Rose of the Battlefield, check this thing out and why it's kind of a problem. It gives dark units accuracy up right here, 25. So their card wasn't maxed out. You don't get this until it's maxed, but that 25 accuracy on a mono dark team is really scary for Evasion Starlight Elena, and it has definitely lost me fights in Guild Wars many times. Let's jump back into Arena real quick, and I'll just kind of talk about, I'll kind of give her a grade or whatever as we watch a fight play out, because that's going to be more interesting than just looking at my face while I'm talking. Let's hit, let's find a dark team if we can and see if it plays out the way I think it will. Oh god, that team would destroy us. There's 2, whatever. we're going to go for it. Valentine's Day Salier could be an issue. Here we go. Okay. Here's the deal. Here's what I've found with Evasion Starlight Elena. In Arena, when I'm actually like trying to climb Arena and I'm really carefully picking my opponents, I've had a lot of luck. I just don't fight 100% hit teams. I find light teams or dark teams. I really make sure my buffing is in order to get that light dark buff going. I have the armband, the light armband to buff her resistances more, and I win way more than I lose. But with Evasion, sometimes you just get unlucky. And one of the things about climbing Arena is you really want the win streaks. So an unlucky loss every once in a while kind of sucks. So relying on RNG, no good. But I did talk like how to set it up to get the most guaranteed luck. That's not a thing, but the most guaranteed luck possible. In Guild Wars, she has struggled for me as an Evasion unit about half the time. It's harder to tell in Guild Wars who you're fighting against, so it's harder to stay away from 100% hit attacks. When you can go get 6 stars really easily. Sometimes none of your units die and you get 6 stars because you just dodged everything, and that's phenomenal. Sometimes you run into a Black Rose Helena Duane wall, and Duane has Duane's 2 most used swords both give a ton of accuracy. If he's also getting that accuracy buff from Black Rose of the Battlefield Vision card, he will chew you up unless you just blow him off the map. So it becomes this kind of weird coin flip thing. And there you go. So, that's it, guys. That's kind of my, that's my Starlight Elena Evasion review / guide. I hope those, like, generic tips on how to build her, how to think about evade are useful for you. I am going to also do a Bruiser Elena build, kind of show that off in the same way. Let me know who you would like to see her with there, what kind of things you'd want to see. I got some of those answers before. I'll play some of those out again. And, yeah. Oh, before I go, make sure you go participate in the social media campaign for Jaden. He is not a limited unit. We're probably all going to pick him up randomly at some point. Like, go to the War Division's Facebook page and like that post. Go to their Instagram and, like, interact with or whatever. Retweet the tweet. Let's get those 100 free Jaden shards if we can. Thank y'all for doing that, and have a great day. I'll see you next time. Peace.